Cassie Ventura, Jane Doe, aka victim number 2, aka Diddy's baby mama. Are these victims? Were they 100% victims? Were they coerced into all of these activities? Were any of their actions transactional? The fact that they were with a media mogul, a celebrity entertainer, a billionaire, huge icon in the space of music and hip hop, an impresario the world over, a super famous man with a clothing line, a music line, a fashion brand, everything, liquor. I mean, it just, you name it. Was any of their relationships transactional? Time to talk. I want to get into something really quick, fast video, but Chris Rock, Gabrielle Union, specifically Gabrielle Union, inspired this video. I'll show you why. All right, subscribe really quick. I was watching a movie, one of my favorite Chris Rock movies, a movie called Top 5, which you may have seen. In that movie, Chris Rock is engaged to a celebrity reality star. Take that lightly, right? Played by Gabrielle Union. And she's kind of this influencer, like this modern, model slash star who's created her stardom by attaching herself to other real stars and by basically just being a brand of looks and fake fame that's being televised, right? So they have she's doing a reality TV show, and she's basically broadcasting every detail of her life with Chris Rock, and they're going to be getting married. That's not the crux of the entire story, but that's sort of the backstory of what his relationship is with Gabrielle Union. So I happened to watch this earlier, and in the last 24 hours, and it was fascinating. There's one scene towards the end of the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, this maybe spoiler alert, maybe not, but possibly. Then click off. You don't need to pay attention to this. But I watched this scene, and I thought of the Diddy thing. Let's watch it, and on the other side, I will explain to you the correlation, or if you don't find it for yourself, I will show you the correlation and what I'm talking about here. Let's take a look at this clip.
Hey.
I cannot believe you did this to me. Are you kidding me? Right before our wedding? Really? It is on CNN, Fox, TMZ, media fucking takeout.
As soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna come right to you.
No, you're not gonna come to me. You're gonna go to your fucking bachelor party. You can still make this right, Dre.
I'm alcoholic. I'm a fucking drunk. Do you really think I need to go to a party?
You have to do this. Did you forget who the fuck I am? I turned down Bradley Cooper, Matt fucking Kemp. I could have had anybody. I chose you, Dre. Everybody wanted to wife me, and I chose you. Dre, what do I do? Every time I see you after we've been separated, what do I do?
We have sex?
No. Not just sex. After every time we've been separated, the moment I see you, the second you walk through the door, I suck your every time. Do you think I wanted to do that, Dre?
I didn't know you were keeping a blowjob tab.
That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, Dre, is that I sucked for us. I sucked it for us because I knew sooner or later I was gonna need you to do something for me that you didn't want to do. You owe me.
Do you hear yourself? You're addicted to this shit.
See, what you're not understanding, this is all I have. Okay? I don't have a talent, right? I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't act, I don't tell jokes. I'm not you, Dre. You have to choose me.
Erica?
Okay? Everyone needs to see you choose me.
Erica.
I am finally famous. Don't ruin this for me.
Okay, so if you haven't picked it up just from that clip, the transactional nature of that relationship and what she says to him when she sees him, what do I do? Do you think I wanted to do that? I did it because I knew it's not something I wanted to do, but I did it for you with the idea that eventually you'll have to do things for me that you don't want to do. So there's a very transactional thing going on there. So going into the Diddy case with Cassie and with Jane, victim number 2. All right, I'm using them specifically. The idea that, we saw through text messaging, we heard through audio recordings, we know from them being on the stand, that there were plenty of moments where they were down with these freak off nights, hotel nights, king nights, whatever they're called, nights of debauchery, whatever they're called, that they were orchestrating them. They had preferences for different escorts. They were doing these things. They did them. They don't mind doing them. They actually said that. But even though I want some time with you alone, I don't mind doing these things. But however, let's do this. We even have transactional nature that's spelled out in detail when it came to Jane, victim number 2, where she talks about the money situation or how much she wants for her house. So these things are spelled out, and they're very transactional. I have made the case throughout this entire trial that Cassie's situation, she stood to benefit from being with a media mogul like Diddy. Now, unlike Gabrielle Union's character speaks about in this little speech of hers, the fact she has no talent, and this is all she has. Cassie, one could argue, had a certain amount of talent. She's supposedly an actress. I don't know a single thing from Cassie, but I do know that she was attempting a singing career. And people can argue, if you want to defend Cassie, that it was Diddy who basically sidetracked or derailed her entire music career, and she would actually be a huge superstar R&B singer right now had that not happened. Okay, we can argue that. But point is, she still stood to benefit. In fact, one could argue that she stood to benefit more than someone who didn't have a talent, right? Because she specifically had something she was trying to do. She was trying to make it as an entertainer. And what better way than to hitch yourself to a major mogul in the entertainment industry? Very transactional. Jane Doe actually does sort of mirror the Gabrielle Union character in this movie because she doesn't have any talent. She's taking her clothes off and she's got like an OnlyFans, and she got with multiple rappers and people and has a baby with a rapper. Like that's all she is. That's all she has, is attaching herself to people. Sort of, that's what she did. So you can see the transactional nature of these things. And I think that line and talking about, what she did for him whenever she saw him when he was away, in the effort of, I didn't necessarily want to do it, but I did it because I knew eventually you'd have to do things for me. That's what a lot of this looks like to me as far as I'm concerned. Again, the Diddy guy, not being a good guy, Diddy being a bastard when it came to how he treated women, how he treated people, or how demanding he was, or how much of a son of a bitch he was as a boss, how hard he was to work for, how freaky he is and isn't, and what he's into and what he's not into. You can put all that into the mix and make your judgments about the man. But at the end of the day, I still feel that there is transactional nature to these relationships with these women, and I don't think it makes him a criminal. I think it makes a bunch of relationships that were tolerated based on what they could and couldn't get out of the relationship. I do not think it's a matter of we couldn't leave. I had no way to leave. I was 10, 11 years, Cassie, and then $30 million you got out of the whole situation. I don't think it's as innocent as these women have made it seem, and I'm going to continue to stick with that. I think early on, of course, when we all saw the beating that Cassie got, we automatically went to that side. Oh, she's clearly a victim, and I think she did. For a certain period, I do think that she was under the spell of this man. I agree with that. I just think 10, 11 years later, no. There was a transactional nature from this, from the beginning, from the jump start, I believe. I think she continued down that path, and she allowed things to happen, because she wanted them to happen, or she was into those things happening. Let's keep it real. If we're going to expose Diddy, the man's sexual, sexual, if we're going to expose his proclivities and his desires and his fantasies and his wants and things, right? Things he was into, let's not forget about the fact that the females and the women involved in this, in those freak offs, those nights of debauchery, those king nights, Cassie was enjoying, and she was down with that lifestyle. She wasn't totally, against this lifestyle. Same thing with Jane. These are not women who are totally like, no, I don't want to do, like, it's just not the case. The point that there may be moments where they didn't want to do it, or there were moments where they wanted more from Diddy, from the man himself, in terms of an interpersonal relationship with him, something more intimate, one-on-one with him. Yes, that's true. And they expressed that, and we saw that in text messages and again in audio, that they wanted more than just, hey, I'm going to get banged out by 3 escorts tonight, but do you mind if you and I just hang out on Sunday and have breakfast together? That's what they were hoping for. Doesn't change the fact that they still were down with getting banged out by 3 dudes on a Saturday night, or whatever it was, whatever hotel, whatever city it was. Anyway, Time to talk. I just wanted to show that clip because I thought about it when I saw this and it just made sense. It all fit into place. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you've seen Top 5. Let me know what you think about my correlation between that and the victims, the alleged victims, the women in Diddy's life that have been testifying in this trial. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video on the way out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.